João Pedro, 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 João Pedro. They tried to tell me he wasn't a number 9. Now, were they right? Maybe. He has other parts to his game, but what matters most is he's scoring goals at the important part of the season and a massive 6-pointer. This is like a final to us, playing against Villa, who are ahead of us in the table, and a top 5 race. João Pedro put the team on his back with a hat trick. Call it tap-in merchant, call it whatever you want. I don't care. First half of the season, this guy was barely shooting. Maresca had him in all the wrong spaces. He was hanging out at the edge of the box. Today, this is what we need. When someone has the ball out wide, he is crashing into the 6-yard area to get his foot on the end of chances. That's what I want for my number 9. João Pedro hat trick. Palmer back on the score sheet. What a day. What a game. Like, subscribe, all the good algorithm stuff. Stick around to the end if you want to see my man of the match, but, it's kind of obvious. And let's get straight into it. Chelsea 4, Aston Villa 1. I read it backwards, but I don't care. This is what we're here to do. We're here to win games convincingly. And I'm not going to lie. That first goal, 2 minutes in, Douglas Luiz putting it in the back of the net, I was a bit spooked. I got to be honest with you guys. I'm not going to come here and say, I was confident off the rip. That goal was it was like too easy. The fact that it really wasn't even a great chance. I mean, Leon Bailey, I guess he does well. He takes it down the line. Excuse me if you could hear sirens in the background. But he takes it down the line. Hato gives him too much space. He puts a ball in the box, but it was a hospital ball. That ball was trickling across the area. No defender had the presence of mind to put a foot on it. And somehow Douglas Luiz is able to get a flick across the goal. That was poor. But it didn't tell me that Villa are better than us. It was a bit spooky. I'm like, is the defense going to be asleep again? And to give them their credit, the defense today, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I was a bit upset to see Chalobah, not the fact that he was starting. Obviously, he's one of our best center backs. He needs to be starting. But the thing with all these red cards, whenever I see these guys come back into the lineup, I'm a little, I got to give them the cold shoulder a little bit because they've been costing us games. But today, Trevor Chalobah. Did I say Fofana? Did I call him Chalobah? My bad. Trevor Chalobah. Have yourself a day.
Yeah, baby.
He's not going to get man of the match, obviously, because our attack was fluid today. But the performance he put in, they had opportunities. Ollie Watkins had chances, and Trevor Chalobah was on him like white on rice, like cheese on macaroni. He was on his cheeks. Not going to say, it was perfect. They still had opportunities. Ollie Watkins had a goal he should have scored, but Jorgensen made a great save. He even did score, I think, from an offside position, but it was tight. It was very tight. But there were other opportunities where, for example, Chalobah, for some reason, when I think it was Watkins went through, was it Watkins or Rodgers? I forget. Went through, I think it was Watkins from Martinez's long ball. Fofana just hit the ground for whatever reason. He was rubbing his eye after that. I guess he got poked. I didn't see the replay clearly. But Chalobah chased down Watkins and put pressure on him to make his shot weak. That's what I need from my defenders. Chalobah, I'm not going to pretend like he's some starting A-side level center back. But when he has a competent center back next to him, he just raises his level of play. And it's been consistent across the season. He's been our most consistent defender in terms of minutes and performances. You could say Fofana is better than him, but Fofana doesn't play as many minutes because he's not as fit, and now he's getting sent off, whatever. Chalobah, have yourself a day. Malo gusto. Let's talk about our first goal, because for them, they had us with that first goal. It was looking a bit spooky. They had some momentum off of that, but eventually we took back control of the game a bit, and we started to put together some chances. And this is why, the reintroduction of Andre Santos, I haven't been mad at. I think that's a great addition to our team, especially with the rosenior connection. And him and Caicedo as a pairing has been beautiful. But back in January, I said, low-key, one of our best lineups is Caicedo and Reece and putting Gusto out at right back. Now that we have the option of Santos, I'm not mad at Caicedo and Santos and putting Reece out at right back. but I think either of those combinations can provide results. The thing with Gusto is he's kind of hit or miss. When he tries to do all the flicks and tricks, he kind of loses me. But when he keeps it simple, and today, that first goal, I think, was that first goal? I think it was Enzo. Yeah, Enzo plays it over the top. A beautiful ball to Malo Gusto, who bends his run. He stays onside, and he doesn't try to do too much. He lets the ball fall to him, plays it with pace across the box, and guess who's there? JOAO Pedro, just to put his foot on it, slide through it, and put it in the back of the net. That's what I need. My striker, when you see the opportunity, dart toward the box, dart toward the goal. Show me something. And that first goal was beautiful. That's a goal where it's not like these set piece goals like the Arsenal game where we're just throwing a bunch of bodies at the ball and just hoping something goes in. It doesn't really show me that we can score through patterns of play, through consistent methods of getting the ball up the pitch. Today, for our corners, we had no luck. Villa employed a tactic that to me is pretty obvious, and we've done it before, but for some reason we stopped doing it, is empty out the box and don't give so many people opportunity just to let the ball hit them and go in the area, and then you have a good counterattack, and Villa was hitting us on the counter. But today, okay, our corners aren't working. Let's show that we can actually play some football. And Enzo, Caicedo, Reece James, all three of them were having a passing clinic today, with the long balls especially, over the top, across the pitch, switching it. All three of them were excellent in that aspect. And that's why I like having all three of them giving us options. And that first goal was a beauty. After that was the offside goal I was talking about with Ollie Watkins. It was close. It was very close, not going to lie. But we had an opportunity of our own when JOAO Pedro, once again, I mean, this one was just a beauty. I believe, was it Reece or Caicedo? Switched it out to Garnacho. In Garnacho, I'm going to talk about Garnacho because maybe this is the right time to talk about him. This guy today, I've seen all week the build-up, the talks. We've been hearing quotes from rosenior about how Garnacho hasn't been in his lineups, but he's been learning more about his character. I don't know if this is a long-term plan from rosenior, but if he can get Garnacho to be even a viable squad-level player off the bench, giving us minutes in certain games, that will be more than enough. I don't need Garnacho to be a starting lights-out winger. Honestly, I just don't see that in his future. I don't see that as a ceiling. I see his ceiling as a really solid squad player. And if he can become that for us for $40 million, I'm not mad at it. It's the Gittins and that price tag where I'm a little more spooked. But Garnacho today just kept things simple. I'm not going to say he was lights out. I'm not going to say he was amazing. But just the little things that in previous games he wasn't doing, today he did them. Just you get the ball. Don't think too much. Don't think you have to go and make a miracle happen. Just take your man down the line and fizz the ball into the box. Maybe something will happen. Cut back, put a cross in. Maybe something will happen. You just have to create a chance. It doesn't. Not everything has to be 100%. I got to go score a banger or something. And today, Garnacho kept it simple. Played it a good ball back across to Enzo, who holds it for a second, and he sees a gap in the defense. Just lets it trickle through, and JOAO Pedro is there, and he with a clinical, sublime finish with his left foot back across the goal. It's beautiful, right over Emi Martinez. That's a striker's and a poacher's finish from JOAO Pedro, and that's showing me the levels to his game. Because now we see he has the aerial ability, he has the instinct to be there on the end of crosses for tap-ins, and now he's showing nice, delicate, technical finishes. We've seen the shots from outside the box back in the Club World Cup and early in the season. He's really showing he has almost every facet to his game. So, hey man, I think he's on 14 goals this season after today's hat trick. People were telling me he wasn't even gonna hit 10. I mean, hold up, 14 goals and we still got some games to go. That's a solid striker return, especially if you're not playing 100% of the minutes. He's supposed to be splitting them with Liam Delap, whatever happened to that. But this is a solid return, and Liam Rosenior has unlocked JOAO Pedro in a way I didn't know I needed. Actually, I didn't know I needed, but I didn't think it would get to this level. I need every coach to come in, show me that you can improve players, find a player that you think, okay, just through my coaching, I can take him to another level. And right now, that is JOAO PEDRO. So beautiful second goal. And I think that took us into the halftime break. Honestly, I was happy with how everyone was playing. I was glad we didn't make any subs. And the fact that, here's the thing, the way this was playing out, the fact that we got the lead right before halftime was massive for our momentum. Massive. I absolutely needed that. Because now going into the second half, we are immediately taking control. Now, I think that I'm not exactly sure what time, if it was first half or second half, but there was one chance I wanted to talk about that we didn't score. And there were a few of them that we should have scored, where Caicedo plays a beautiful ball. I mean, Caicedo, people want to talk about him as a destroyer, as a ball winner, and he is one of the best in the world at that. But this guy's passing has to be his most, still to this day, his most underrated aspect of his game. The ball he plays through to Cole Palmer is just sublime. Like, that's like you would think of like a number 10, like a prime number 10 playing balls like that through. That was an unbelievable ball from Caicedo to Palmer. And Palmer just takes 1-2 touches too many where he loses the angle. He doesn't have that ruthless streak that he used to have. At least I thought so until later in this game. But he plays it back to Garnacho and then it gets deflected, goes out. I was a bit disappointed with that sequence there. But later on in the game, eventually Villa, they try to make some subs. They try to get back in the game, bringing on ex-Chelsea players. I see you, Ross Barkley, Jadon Sancho. They're trying it. They're trying it. Tammy Abraham even. I mean, they're trying it. But either way, before the Tammy Abraham sub, this last JOAO PEDRO goal, simple. I forget who plays the ball to Garnacho for this one. But he's through on goal, 2v1. Just lays it off to JOAO PEDRO. This one's not much to talk about. It's just simple play, but sometimes we haven't been doing the simple thing, and that's what's been frustrating about Chelsea, because we can score goals. I mean, our goal difference says enough about it, but the fact that we just make things too complicated sometimes has been our downfall, and the reason why we're drawing games against Leeds and Burnley at home. But I guess maybe there's some kind of pressure at the bridge. I don't know, but when we go away from home, we're just able to play a little more simply and freely and just do what you have to do. And now, JOAO PEDRO, hat trick, beautiful, wraps it up pretty. Wait, I skipped the Palmer goal. I was just about to talk about the Palmer goal and I completely skipped it. The Cole Palmer goal. Now, let's get to that, because I don't know why I just completely skipped the Palmer goal. I was talking about the subs. The Cole Palmer goal, because I was talking about how he wasn't ruthless for that earlier chance. Cole Palmer gets the ball. He plays a nice ball through to Reece James into the box. Reece James fizzes it across in the air. A difficult ball to deal with. Doesn't really hit any of our players, but it just makes it difficult for Martinez to deal with, who has to try to punch it out. Only goes as far as Palmer on the edge of the area, who hits a nice, just clean. I say clean, it bounced, but clean as in just with power on target to pretty much an open net from the edge of the area. That's the Cole Palmer I'm looking for. This season, how he's been playing this season, I would have expected that ball to hit him, and he just takes a touch, takes another touch, and he thinks, oh, I have to place this perfectly. Sometimes you just gotta hit the ball. Just hit it. And maybe something will come from it. And this time, it's a goal from open play. I know people have been hating on Palmer. He's a pen merchant. He hasn't scored open play goals recently. There you go. An open play goal from Cole Palmer. Beautiful. And then, obviously, the JOAO PEDRO goal, which I just talked about. But then even after that, we had more chances. I mean, I think it was Cucurella late in the game after he comes on. He plays the ball across the box to a wide open Garnacho, who isn't able to put that away. I mean, beggars can't be choosers. Garnacho was solid today. I'm not going to be super upset that he didn't score he didn't score. He still had a solid performance, but he still got some things to work on. Obviously, we bring on some players just to see out the game. Lavia, it's good to see him continuing to get some minutes. Tosin, if I'm being real, even at that scoreline, I don't need to see Tosin get him in. Just bring on Sar or something. Cucurella, he's getting back fit. I'm glad to see that. We're gonna need him against PSG badly. Liam Delap comes on, doesn't really do much, but not with much time left. And then Andre Santos, obviously, just to see the game out. And there it is, 4-1 against Villa. This is a massive win. The thing about Chelsea, I just don't understand. Leeds and Burnley, those were just there for the taking. And if we had gotten those points, we would have been that would have been 4 more points for us, and that would have been we would have been on 52, level with United, and ahead of Villa now. I mean, I can't cry over spilled milk. It is what it is at this point, but just those games were there for the taking. But for some reason, in these games, we play lights out. I just don't get it. I mean, to be fair, Villa haven't been on the best form themselves, so I can't talk like this is we beat prime Aston Villa, but we absolutely take that. And looking at the table, today was an eventful day. Obviously, Liverpool lost yesterday, massive for us. But today, Arsenal won, which, spooky season. I'm not happy with that. Brighton, come on, you should have helped us out there. West Ham won, though. And I'm not going to lie, Tottenham Hotspurs. West Ham on 28. Forest drew a City on 28. Spurs on 29. Palace, you have the opportunity to do something really funny tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. I'll be keeping an eye on that game. But even that being said, I'm pretty upset that Forest drew. I mean, I wanted City to get that win. City, don't throw this away, man. The entire league is depending on you to pull this one home. I mean, they still have a game in hand, so it's not over. And obviously, if they win at the Etihad, at the Etihad against Arsenal, then it's wide open. But still, City, come on, bro. We need you to lock in. It could have been 5 wins in a row. That would have been massive. But overall, very eventful day in the league. A good day for us. I mean, the annoying thing is Newcastle United are playing right now. Newcastle with 10 men, but they did score a pen, and then United equalized. If Newcastle can see that out for a draw, this top 4, top 5 race gets very, very, very interesting. But I'm not exactly sure how that game's going to end out. I'm sure as soon as I stop recording and I go edit this video and upload it, I'm sure United would have scored, and I'm going to be upset. So let me not get too excited here about that result, but we'll see about that. Appreciate you guys for watching, especially if you made it this far. As always, I think we have Wrexham on the weekend in a cup game. Ryan Reynolds. Hey, man, I want all the smoke, bro. I want all the smoke, Ryan Reynolds. We're not letting you get that one easily. And then obviously next week, we're going to the Parc des Princes to see PSG in the Champions League. Massive week ahead, but big 3 points today. I'm happy. I can go to sleep happy tonight with the performance we put on. So once again, appreciate you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, all that good algorithm stuff, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.